If one animal was made the size of a whale, which would be the scariest? Chimpanzee. Already very strong and incredibly smart, just imagine if you pissed it off. Any microscopic insect/organism whose form is unfamiliar to human eyes as is. Ants would be pretty scary. Their faces. Keep it microscopic. A chicken would be absolutely terrorizing. Perhaps we should pick a whale's prey, and then see how they fight. Giant centipede. They're terrifying enough at centipede size. Edit, I'm not talking regular centipedes or happy little millipedes here. I'm talking these absolute nightmare fuel things. Ducks due to the gigantic corkscrew penis. Any insect, sheer war machines. Dragonfly. Any river will be deadly and later they just kill you from the air. Whale-sized birds of prey would be an issue. They'd swoop down and kill people. Ants. Spiders may be more frightening as individuals, but colonies of ants would be worse. Honorable mention for social wasps, but they tend to have colonies in the hundreds, not tens of thousands. Praying mantis. Cats. The zoomies would be apocalyptic. Spider. Cockroach. What is common knowledge that you found out way too late? Always eat before shopping at Costco. Deleted. Just because I hold an opinion on something doesn't mean that I need to share it. I spent way too much of my early adulthood inserting my viewpoint into discussions that I wasn't really a part of. Always get it in writing. Simply asking how are you once in a while is all it takes to not fall apart from old friends. Hard work isn't always the answer. When I worked a minimum wage job, I would work hard and not take breaks, so a great job, and always finish early. I just then got told to pick up the slack for the employees who spent their time goofing off. Never got a promotion, raise, or even a hey, good job. That when people ask to borrow money, especially if it's a friend or family, just expect to never see it again. Being well educated in one area doesn't mean that a person can't be a total idiot in other areas. Every action made in anger ends in sorrow. An attorney, when I was 24. Don't make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. Going too long without sleep can impair your ability to drive the same way as drinking too much alcohol. Your oral health is just as important as your general health. That you can actually say no to your parents. Sometimes, regardless of how good a person you are, how hard you try, and how sincere you feel, there are people who will mistreat and take advantage of you. And more importantly, them doing that usually isn't your fault. It's more often a product of who they are and wasn't as personal or important of a choice for them as it will feel for you. Percentages are reversible. So 8% of 25 is the same thing as 25% of 8, and sometimes the reverse is easier to calculate. Who would you put in the same category of evil as Hitler? Peter Scully. An Australian pedophile that went to the Philippines to prey on impoverished children. He built an international child sexual abuse ring that offered pay-per-view streams of children being raped and tortured. He promoted hardcore, a type of child pornography that focuses on torturing children. A video from him went around the dark web called Daisy's Destruction, in which he raped and tortured an 18-month-old toddler. He made kids dig their own graves before strangling them with a rope. I am not trying to downplay Hitler's evil, but Hitler had an end goal, to rid of the world of people who he thinks are bad. Peter Scully's end goal is to get rich by killing and raping babies. If you had a gun pointed to your head and had to tell what is the most evil, depraved, vile thing you can imagine, Peter Scully did it. Japanese generals Mukai and Noda aren't getting the hate they deserve. I can't think of anything more atrocious than Nanjing. Oscar Derlwanger. Genocidal, torturer, child rapist, mass murderer, guy so fucking evil even the other SS members thought he was too much. Pol Pot, killed 1/4 of the population, absolute madness that they had a seat at the UN whilst he was in power. Reinhard Heydrich, also known as the Butcher of Prague. Thank fuck he was assassinated. Joseph Mengele. Slayer based angel of death on his butchery in the name of Hitler. Heinrich Himmler. Pol Pot. Surgeon General Sher Ishii, director of Unit 731, the unit of the Japanese Imperial Army that orchestrated Japan's incomprehensibly cruel human experimentation and biological weapons testing during World War II. They vivisected babies, pregnant women, and just civilians in general, alive with no anesthesia and out of sheer sadistic curiosity. They locked people in massive freezers to see how long frostbite took to kill. Placed live kidnapped civilians on around grenades to see how the damage changed with distance, dropped bubonic plague bombs on villages. Despite some scientific findings, it's the shit they did for no reason other than sadistic pleasure or curiosity that makes them almost worse than the Nazis. Asterisk from Wikipedia, some of the tests have been described as psychopathically sadistic, with no conceivable military application. For example, one experiment documented the time it took for 3-day-old babies to freeze to death. Idi Amin aka Black Hitler was pretty brutal. Edit, misspell. Song. General Butt Naked, Joshua Blahii. Asterisk supported Dou's coup, acted as head of his personal militia. Fought for him during the Liberian Civil War. Asterisk after Dou's murder joined the Ulamo fighting against Dou's enemies. Asterisk before battle and after capturing a town would cut the heart out of a live baby and eat it. Asterisk mutilated and dismembered people for no reason. Asterisk kidnapped kids and used them as child soldiers, plying them with cocaine to maintain control over them. Asterisk stated in an interview, I would enter under the water where children were playing. I would dive under the water, grab one, carry him under and break his neck. Sometimes I'd cause accidents. Sometimes I'd just slaughter them. Asterisk at the end of the war carried on his activities as a warlord, seizing control of gold and diamond mines as well as surrounding villages. Asterisk when the NPFL tried to arrest the Ulamo leaders, led an indiscriminate armed resistance that resulted in the forced displacement of 50% of all people in Monrovia. Asterisk converted to Christianity and became a pastor in time for the investigation into war crimes, testified against his former colleagues and claimed to have killed upwards of 20,000 people. Received prosecutorial amnesty. Asterisk once given amnesty campaigned for war crimes trials against his opponents during the conflict, including the president. Asterisk now travels the country approaching his victims, people he maimed and dismembered, people he kidnapped as children, relatives of those he killed, and demanding that they forgive him in the name of Christ. Idi Amin is up there. King Leopold II of Belgium. Goebbels. Every single person involved in Unit 731. Edit, only read about them if you've got a strong stomach or are okay with losing faith in humanity.